Chapter 4. Supervising the Literature Review. Chapter Objectives. By the end of this chapter, the reader should be able to understand the purpose and scope of a literature review in postgraduate research, guide students in locating, selecting, and synthesizing scholarly sources, support the development of critical engagement with literature, ensure alignment between literature, research problem, and conceptual framework. 4.1. The purpose of the literature review. A literature review is more than a summary of books and articles. It is a critical conversation with existing knowledge. It serves several core purposes: to show awareness of what has already been written on the topic, to identify theoretical and empirical gaps in current knowledge, to justify the need for the proposed study, to position the student's research within scholarly debates, to inform the choice of concepts, theories, and methods. Supervisors should ensure that students grasp these purposes, avoiding superficial reviews that merely describe rather than interrogate the literature. 4.2. Helping students find and evaluate sources. Students often struggle with finding credible, relevant, and up-to-date sources. Supervisors can guide them to use academic databases and journals rather than random internet searches. Prioritize peer-reviewed articles, seminal works, and recent studies. Avoid over-reliance on textbooks, blogs, and opinion pieces. Distinguish between primary and secondary sources. Evaluate the credibility, relevance, and scholarly value of sources. Tool. Source Evaluation Checklist. 4.3. Building a critical and thematic review. A strong literature review is not organized by author or article, but by themes, concepts, or debates. Supervisors should coach students to identify patterns, tensions, contradictions, and gaps in the field. Compare and contrast perspectives rather than list them. Analyze how previous work informs, challenges, or supports their study. Avoid summary syndrome, the tendency to retell rather than engage. Synthesize findings into a coherent structure that supports their research argument. Tool. Thematic Synthesis Matrix. 4.4. Connecting literature to the conceptual framework. One of the supervisor's key roles is ensuring that the literature review feeds into the conceptual or theoretical framework of the study. This means guiding students to move from general background literature to more focused theoretical material, justify the selection of theories or models with reference to the literature, use the literature to frame the problem, refine questions, and guide analysis. Understand the difference between a conceptual framework and a literature review. Clarity in this relationship strengthens the study's intellectual foundation and coherence. 4.5. Managing the scope and process of reviewing. Literature reviews can easily spiral out of control. Supervisors should help students to stay focused on literature relevant to their research questions. Set clear timelines and milestones for sourcing, reading, and writing. Keep a working bibliography with summaries and annotations. Know when they have reviewed enough to justify their study. Remind students that a literature review is iterative. It evolves alongside the research. Conclusion. The literature review is a key pillar of the thesis. It develops the student's scholarly voice, grounds the study in the field, and demonstrates academic maturity. Through patient guidance, critical questioning, and structured feedback, supervisors can help students transform information into insight, and insight into contribution. Tools and resources in this chapter. Literature review, planning template, source evaluation checklist, thematic synthesis matrix, critical reading guide, supervisor feedback prompts for literature review drafts. Happy supervision!